With the butterfly done, I'm going to create a new composition. Go to Composition, New Composition. I'm creating the final scene. I'll call it Final Scene. From Presets, scroll on down and select HDTV 1080 at 29.97 and click on OK. Here's our new composition with nothing in it. I have the alpha on, so I'm previewing transparencies. I can turn that off or toggle it right here. I'm going to import a background, File, Import File. I'm going to select the city BG and click on Import. It's going to be a composition and maintain layer sizes. I'm dragging this composition to the final scene, and now I'm going to take the butterfly and also drag it to the final scene. I'm going to position it above the city background. Let's take a look at what we have so far. Now the city background is broken up into its own layers of clouds and the sun. Feel free to go animate these properties. Like a cloud is easy to animate. We could have null objects even animate the clouds. Right click here, New, and select Null Object. I'm selecting both of these cloud layers. I'm going to pick whip right to the null object. For position, P key. And I could just animate the clouds going on by. I could use a script like time multiplied by some number to make the clouds slowly drift on by. I'm just going to animate them this time without using a script. Clouds are here, and 15 seconds later, I'm selecting null object, and on 15 seconds later, clouds just slowly move this way. Here's the slow movement of the clouds. You can do the same thing for the sun. Doesn't need a null object. We can make the sun set. Position. And in 15 seconds, the sun is setting. And if all that's happening, the background's on its own layer. Let me create a new solid. And you can figure out different ways to fade out the background. I'm going to just fade it out into a nighttime, maybe dark blue. I create a new solid that's dark blue. Let's see if this works. If not, maybe there'll be another technique. And right now, I'm going to change the opacity, and then it's going to slowly go like this. Just very soft touch. At frame 0, the opacity is nothing. By frame 450, maybe the opacity is 10. Play with it a little bit. Let's get back to the main layer, which is final scene. And here's our butterfly. Not going to do much fancy stuff to it. Just going to make it flap on over to the sunflower. Instead of animating this critter by moving position keys to get it closer and closer, and finally the rotation and end up at the sunflower, go to Window and select Motion Sketch. What is Motion Sketch? It allows you to draw out a path, and this path will create the animated keys that you need. Smoothing is how smooth to make this path. I'm going to increase smoothing. Capture speed in real time. Capture in slow-mo. I'm going to leave it real time for now. And whether or not to show the background. Show wireframe as you're drawing or not. Let me uncheck that. And I'm going to click on Start Capture. As soon as I start dragging this object, my path is created. Let me do that again. I'm going to turn on wireframe this time. My playback head is at frame 0. Start capture, and you have the crosshair. Just click and drag. And I could do this loop-de-loop and end up right there. Ooh, it's a very breezy day for this butterfly, but now I've found the flower and as sun sets. And there's your introduction to Motion Sketch. If I double click, I'll end up right at that key moment. After you use Motion Sketch, click off and click on your objects layer, and that's going to reveal the motion path. If you're not seeing the motion path, go to View, Show Layer Control, and that toggles on and off those layer controls. Click on any of these points to adjust where the position key is, and you can adjust the tangents by clicking and dragging the ends. You want to move the butterfly to this tangent to see how it looks there. Double click it, and now the butterfly is there. If I want to see how the butterfly looks here, double click the position box right there, click, and now my artwork's there. You can adjust the tangents. And these are just keys. If I open up the position key, that's all these things are. The representation of your keys along a path. If you need to get rid of one, just select it and press the delete key. If you need to move it now, just move it and new keys added. If you don't like any of your motion path, click the stopwatch and I'll erase all the keys and you can start all over again. Enjoy, experiment a little bit, and come up with some creative solutions to making this butterfly land on the sunflower as sun sets. Final thing I'll do is add a little distortion to the sunflower so this way it gets moving in the breeze. It won't look as stiff as the background buildings. Going to the background layer, selecting the sunflower, going to effects and presets. I'm going to apply a turbulent displace, and I'll drag that to the sunflower layer, which is called flower. The amount is going to be very small, maybe 10. Let's look at evolution. That's all I want to happen. Since evolution will control everything, I'm going to option click evolution and write time multiplied by 100. I'm going to go to the offset and select the crosshair and I'll move it down to the stem. So this way the movement starts from here and radiates upward. Now it's your turn to create this small scene.